It is Thursday. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Red Baron. Thank you for joining me on the show. On the show tonight, we've got our special guest, Veronica Jayne. Same as always, this is our third go-round. We've got a very talented lady here that's quite blown away our audience last week. So we're going to go ahead and talk with her in just a little bit. Give me just a couple of minutes here. I had my mic off and the show just got started here, so bear with me. I got to get a few things out to social media, let everybody know that we're live, and we'll be right back here in just 1 second. Okay, guys, give me just a couple of seconds here. I got to wait for my moderators to show up and we'll get started here. So, how's everybody doing tonight? I'm having a few technical difficulties here, so bear with me here. It's this broadcasting software is just making me pull out the last of my hair here. So, hold on just a second. I'm going to kill my mic one more time and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. Do me a favor, guys. I don't see my moderators in the chat just yet. Could some of you guys go into the Discord and share this link in there in all the rooms and let them know so that way I'm not slowing the show down. I've got to kind of work. I'm spinning enough plates as it is. I don't need to be over there doing that too. So we'll go ahead and get started. So with me on the line is Veronica Jayne. How are you doing, my dear?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great as well. I'm doing really good, man. Shiba's kicking butt. Had a hell of a night last night. I was about ready to call the Psychic Friends hotline last night and ask you what should I be doing. But we were on last night and we just had a massive blow up on Shiba Inu, and so she dropped out and we fell into the channel here. I've got showing on screen, and so now we want to know what comes next for the dogs. So we're going to be talking about that tonight. So what's on your mind? What do you want to talk about tonight?
There's a few things. This is kind of funny because I was meditating this week and I'm like, okay, guys, any messages? I'm listening. And I was just quiet for a while. And then I heard window of opportunity. And I thought, window of opportunity, what does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Oh, I think I do.
And I didn't put my money into what I'm supposed to until last night.
Oh, what'd you get?
I did, what is that called? XLM.
Okay.
And I already have XRP.
Okay.
And I think that was it. I've got Shiba already. And I asked, how many coins am I supposed to focus on this alt season? Yeah, I have a bunch of other ones sprinkled around there, but what do I really need to focus on this alt season? It gave me Shiba, XLM, XRP, and there's one that I'm missing, and I don't know what it is. I haven't found it yet.
Persistence?
I have no idea. I got to keep looking for it. What's the abbreviation for persistence?
As far as I know, I don't believe there is one. I cheat and I look at the charts and stuff, and there isn't. There's a few of them like Theta that don't necessarily have a shorthand version. They just call it Theta. Theta and T Fuel are some that don't. So persistence, I've always known. Just if I'm wrong, guys, I'm sorry. XRPT. I'm sorry.
XRPT. Let me write that down. RPT. Let's douse it out and find out if that's the one that I'm supposed to have.
All right. Well, let's start at the top of our chart here so that we can kind of respect your time here. I know it was we went a little bit long last time. So, guys, bear with me. We're going to be kind of tearing through this pretty quick. So, always leave them wanting more, right? All right. So let's start. So Veronica is kind of teaching me the way that she wants me to do this in much more of a, how would you describe it? Much more
in a more direct approach, because there's a way to ask questions. Because if you ask the wrong question, or you're not asking the question at all, or you're asking a compound question, hey, if I do this, then this, and what about this, and then maybe that.
Correct.
You can't do that. You have to ask the question and pause.
One question per customer, right?
Yeah, right. So one question is
Right.
what triggers the intuitive state. People who go to psychics and go, tell me what you see.
Right.
That's
Same
really
as
not
your
funny.
conductor Tom uses. So we'll kind of, those of you who are familiar with Veronica's work and familiar with the way that Tom asks questions, that's the way I'm going to phrase these questions tonight. So you ready to go?
I am. Go ahead.
All right. So let's take a shot at this and see how we go. So locate the cryptocurrency known as Bitcoin, and that would be BTC.
Got it?
Give us the low for BTC between now and October 22nd, 2021.
The low?
The low price.
Oh, okay. Well,
I want to know where the buy-in opportunities are at here.
I see. What's the price now?
Give me just a second. I'm behind the 8 ball as usual here. Hang on just a second.
That's all right. We're patient.
Try not to mess up your flow.
No, it's okay. I've got it.
All right. I'll be ready on the next one. Current price, $52,246.
Okay, first of all, we need to know if it's going up or down. Up or down. So, up or down. Over this next week.
Between now and October 22nd, 2021. So the reason I'm going to be asking October 22nd, in case you guys are wondering what's up with that date, we're kind of expecting that to be the liftoff point. So in my mind, I'm expecting if we're going to get a crash, we're going to get it between now and then, before we take off. I don't think we're going to go from now and get better. I think we're going to get worse. So my expectation from a charting standpoint is to go down before we go up.
Okay, I'm just visualizing. I do see another pop-up, and then I see it coming back down off the pop-up and then rolling along, and then there's a slight dip. Like, you know how when you go over a slight dip and your tummy goes, whoa, or the kids go, whoa, in the back seat?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like that, but it's very short-lived, and then it continues on, and then it continues its upper trajectory, and it's a little bit of a rocky trajectory with a couple straight shots up. So we want to know what that, whoa, dip was, right?
Correct.
Okay, so from here it goes up, down. It's not too much lower than it is right now. Let's find the number. Give me that number again, where you're at.
I'm going to give you the current one, 52,215. 52,000, yeah, 54,225.
54,225. We want to know what's the dip. Is the dip lower or higher than where we're at? Okay, it looks like that dip is actually going to be just a little higher than where we're at.
Really?
Because it's going to go, remember I told you it was going to cruise along, it's like rolling along, and then it pops up like on a little mountain peak, boop, boop,
Mm-hmm.
a sharp peak, and then it comes back down to where it is now, or close to it. Very close. So let's see where it goes to. 54,200, 300, 400, moving. 54,500, it's almost there. 54,500 and change.
54.5.
And change.
Okay, so that is for what? Over what period of time? Is that what you're calling as our low? So right now we're currently at the low, 54,225. So right now
basically,
between now and the 22nd, you're telling me that effectively we're pretty much at the bottom, and it's all uphill from here.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, because it's rolling along like boop, 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 like a little vibration as it's rolling, ups and downs and stuff. And then it hits a stone, and then it kind of launches from there, and then it bounces back down. It goes up the peak, comes back down the peak, and then goes, whoa, a little dip. And that dip is not far from where we're at now.
All right. Okay. All right, so let's try this. Locate the cryptocurrency known as XRP and give the lowest price between now and October 22nd, 2021.
Okay, so that first one was BTC. Let's write down XRP. What's the current price?
Current price is $1.07.
Mm. Okay, I've got it. It actually waved at me. That's cute. All right. I've never seen it do that before. That's something interesting. So is the price going to go up or down? It is going to go down. What's the lowest price it's going to be between now and October 22nd? Wish I had a calendar in front of me. That's okay.
October 22nd is, I believe, a Friday.
No, Friday. Okay, thank you. And now on October 22nd, $7, $6, $5. It's moving. How low can you go? $4, $3. It's almost there. 2. I see 101.
101?
101, it's like pulling back to 102 right away. So right there.
Okay, about $1. Okay, sounds about right. Yeah, that's from a charting and technical standpoint, that's very believable. I mean, to capitulate and go under $1, I just think a lot of the bears won't let, or a lot of the bulls won't let that happen. So I think $1 is pretty much a line in the sand for a lot of people who just don't want to see it go double digits again. All right,
yeah.
So
and it's just so you know, it's coming at me. Now normally I see XRP and it just looks like a coin. But this one looks like it's a kite on a string, and it's kind of waving in the wind, and it reaches up its little, like, the little part of its X, and it's waving at me like it's a hand.
Okay.
Like, hello!
Okay.
And I've never seen it as a kite before, so that's
All
an
right.
interesting, I don't know, metaphor.
All right.
Interesting. Okay.
Locate the cryptocurrency known as Shiba Inu. This is a big one. Ticker symbol is SHIB, SHIB. Give me the lowest price that we're going to see between now and October 22nd, 2021. Now,
Okay, I have it.
This is going to be I'll give you the specific because this thing's all over the board. So
It is. It is. I see him running around a lot. It's a little puppy. And I see it soft and fluffy, and it's like a little bit fat inside of its little sweater. That's kind of new to me. Like it just went poof, like its fur just fluffed out, and it's in a sweater that's kind of too small. So that to me indicates maybe it's a little bit oversized for where it's supposed to be.
All right. You want current price?
Yes, please.
All right. It's 40.00002235.
Good Lord. Very specific.
Got to be with those.
Yeah. And just so you know, let me give you some other information. I don't think I gave this to you yet. I did a reading with my Psychic Friends Network. Joan Lake did this reading.
Right.
And we probably should have recorded it. That would have been something fun for your listeners.
Absolutely.
She did a reading on Shiba Inu, and she said that it's going to be used in the future by a lot of 20 to 30-year-olds, like kind of as a joke coin where they just send coins back and forth to each other, and it's just kind of cute. But that's going to pump up the volume of it, like it's going to be very common in their consciousness as well. And it's the use by these young people for whatever reason that really sends it rocketing and gives it a stable, concrete foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that's going.
Okay.
So let's look. What was the question?
Okay, we want to know what is the lowest price that you see between now and October 22nd, 2021.
Okay.
So right now we've had a hell of a drop, one hell of a drop in the last couple of days. So if you care to hear this, we've had from high, we've had a drop of about roughly 41.99. Let's just make it 42%. Do you think that's pretty much it, or we got more to go?
I see the little doggy running around, but then it tips over on its front right leg, and the other 3 legs are still up, and it's just sort of pushing itself with its head laying down on the ground and pushing itself around in kind of a comical sort of way, but it still has energy pushing itself around, so it's going to be dragging. And we need a number. Okay. Let's see what happens to the zeros. That's really the most important part. Are we going to add a 0 by October 22nd? looks like we might add another zero on there, folks.
Rats. Okay.
Yeah, which is, make money going up, make money going down, whatever you got to do. And
Well,
just
being a buying opportunity, so that's going to put you down considerably lower than where we're at.
Right. So take your profits as you go, and that's a good buying opportunity. For those of you who missed it earlier, we understand what the potential of this coin is and where it's going in the future. So it might not be one of the ones you want to hold for your alt season. And, well, I take it back. It's one of the ones I'm supposed to have for my alt season and focus on. I don't know what everyone else is supposed to do.
Well, let's ask this question's a little tighter. What do you see? So from right now, we're at 0.00002207.
So the zero comes back, and you want to know what the first number is
You
after
know
the zero?
what specifically what I want to know is between now and let's say for the next 7 days. Do you see this going higher than where it is right now in the next 7 days? Because we're on a downward slide right now.
In the next 7 days, is it going higher or lower? Okay, it says it's going to do both. Well, duh.
Shocking.
Yeah, shocker. Because it just looked at me. I just saw my pendulum kind of turn around and look at me like, what?
Did you just get a WTF look from your pendulum?
I really did. It just turned around and looked over its shoulder like, really? That's the question? I'm like, okay, let me narrow it down. Over the next week, what is the low? So we're at 0.000. Let's see if there's another zero going to add. It says yes. What's the next number after that fifth zero? I just point it out like this. What's the next number after that?
Do you want to try this in terms of percentage? Would that be easier for you? Because you're working with a lot of zeros. That can be a little speculative.
No, we're going to add a zero, and the next number after that's going to be a 3.
Okay. Restate that one more time. I'm kind of you lost me there.
Okay, so it's got 4 zeros. Add
Correct.
one more.
Okay.
It's going to add one more zero.
Right.
And then put a 3 after it.
Okay, that's for the low.
That's the low.
Okay.
Is it going to go back up? I see a rocket ship.
Okay. What I'm wanting to what I'm wanting to know, because I'm in a position, a lot of guys are in a position right now. They basically bought dip. Like I woke up this morning and I saw I got rich people problems. I was joking because I had just a huge. I sold right at the top, just right at the top last night, and we had it clocked and it just absolutely. And so I had a buy down here, a little bit lower. And it went down and it hit my target exactly that I had told everyone to buy, but they didn't trigger my buy because I had over 100,000, and Coinbase won't let it happen. So I woke up this morning and I saw that it had gone down into my yellow zone and I went, oh shit. And so I kind of, against my better wishes, I thought, well, better grab some of this. So I missed the bottom, what was it, 11 to 16%. And I kind of FOMO'd hoping to catch a little action. And then when I sobered up later on in the afternoon, I realized it probably would go a bit lower. So I'm in this right now. Obviously for you guys, full disclosure, right here at this arrow is where I'm back in right now. So I'm feeling the burn right now, not in a good way. And so I'm down about, let me see, I'm down roughly, I'm happy with it, I'll ride it, but I'm down 15%. So what I want to know is can you save me, Veronica?
Well, hey, I do have a question for you.
Okay.
When you say you sell your Shiba Inu, do you just sell a percentage of it?
No, I did. No, oh hell no! I push it all to the middle. You got to know that I'm all or nothing, man. I push it all to the middle.
Oh Lord!
I know.
You're one of those.
No guts, no glory, baby.
Oh my gosh! I have friends like you, and they're
I'll tell you what. I'll give you nosebleeds. Watch me spend money. I'll give you nosebleeds just watching. It's a spectator sport. Let me tell you.
Oh, I'm about to have an aneurysm just thinking about it. Because I'm more at around the 15, 20, 25% in, maybe. And then
where's the fun in that, man? You know, I don't need to. I don't need to take blood thinners, man. My heart's pounding all the time because what?
You're killing me. You're killing me. All right, so let's see when Shiba's going to pop back up. Really should have a calendar here.
My question. So if you want a calendar. So my question. Let me give you a specific question here. We're kind of horsing around. So between now, let's give you 7 days between now and the 14th of October. Do you see it coming back up? Well, let's just go specifically here because I know a lot of guys jumped in on this.
I'm seeing the 16th pop up.
The 16th?
Yep.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, it's not a straight up arrow, but it's pretty close.
On the 16th?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. From where we're at now, or can you get that specific?
Oh, no, from anywhere you're at.
Okay. All right.
You'll be very content.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay. All right. So the 16th being Saturday. So you're thinking if I can just kind of grip my teeth, all will be right with my world here by 2 Saturdays from now.
It looks like it, because it just, shoo, there it goes. I see the 16, and the arrow starts going up on the 16, and it crosses over that day, and then it continues on from there.
All right. Well, while we're on the topic of this, there's a few little sub things we want to discuss. So our boy Elon Musk apparently did a tweet about his little puppy that probably is what sparked this a little bit. Might have been something else. One of our viewers is mentioning that what do you see? When do you see them listing this on Robinhood? Do you see them listing this? Let's just be specifically. So, locate the company Robinhood.
Got it?
When do you see them? Do you see them listing Shiba Inu on their exchange in the next 30 days?
It looks like they're furiously working on the paperwork right now, and I see a thumbs up.
Okay. Can you describe the amount of time? Can you give us a little bit more dialed in? 1 week, 2 week?
Hold on. Hold on. Okay, Robinhood. In the next 30 days, yes. Next 25 days, 20 days, 15 days, no more than 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 18 days maybe?
18 days, that puts us probably rumors starting to hit on the 16th. That's probably what drives our pop on the 16th.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So that puts it at about 13, 14 days when rumor mills start. So, yeah, that ties together nicely. All right, good question, viewer. All right, so I think I've got another one here, but let's burn through this here because, again, we're going to be on this all night if we don't. So I think anything else you want to tell me about that? Any other things you want to discuss on Shiba before we move on?
Nope, I just know that it's one of the ones that my guides gave me and told me to focus on during this alt season. And I'm looking forward to figuring out what that fourth one is.
Okay.
RB, I don't know what it is. Somebody help me.
I'm gonna guess it's probably persistence. Okay. So locate the cryptocurrency Stellar Luminance, and that is ticker symbol XLM. That you said is one of yours. Give us your thoughts on, or give us the lowest price on XLM between now and October 22nd.
And the current price?
The current price. We had a good run the other night. I wasn't paying attention to it. Current price is 34 cents, 30.342. 34 cents in a little bit.
And what's the question?
Give us the lowest price you see between now and October 22nd, 2021.
Lowest price, okay.
2 weeks, next 2 weeks.
Up or down. It is going to take a pop down, a little slide down.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like a stumble. It doesn't look like a slide. It's more like it trips and goes, whoa, and it just kind of makes a fumble and a fumble. But it's going to recover rather quickly. It's just temporary. So 0.34. Hold on. Is it going to go down to 25 cents? No. Is it going to go down to 30 cents? It says it could go down to 30 cents. 29, 28. So 29 cents. Looks like it could take a little tumble.
Okay.
It's not going to. It's a temporary tumble. It's going to pop back up rather quickly, so you got to get your window of opportunity.
Okay, so for those of you that are watching, she's done it again. You can already see that I've got a line right here that's been predicted. And she cannot see my charts, guys. She's just talking to me on the phone. What are you in your kitchen or your living room right now talking to me?
No. I'm actually sitting at my desk like a professional.
Oh, okay.
With a cup of tea and slippers.
Okay, but she's not live or plugged into my charts and stuff like that. But basically, I've got a call line or a resistance line at 0.29886. So that jibes very, very nicely with where I would see a resistance level being. So get your orders in, guys. That's when she takes off. That's your baseline on that one. All right, so 0.29. All right, so locate the cryptocurrency known as Theta. Ticker symbol Theta. Give us the lowest price you see for between now and October 22nd, 2021.
Thank you. What's the current price?
Current price is... This is getting a little life to it. Current price is $6.63.
Oh my gosh, I made money. I really should pay attention to these, right? Me. Okay.
If you don't look at it, you don't spend it, right?
I really don't. I kind of forget about it until my clients remind me, hey, you remember in that reading you said buy this, buy that. Oh yeah, I'm going to do that. Oops. Okay, so Theta, we're looking for the lowest price between now and October 22nd. Let's ask if it's going to go up or down between now and then. Is it going to go up or down? Doesn't look like there's going to be much of a downward slide at all. It looks pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
What's the low price going to be? Let's find out. $6.63. I'm not getting that it's really going to go down.
Okay, you want to take it the other way and see what we get for a high?
Oh, sure.
Between now and October 22nd.
Sure. Okay. Let's see, 663, 673. Huh, that's weird. Okay, so 693, 94, 694.
All right. So that's currently right now right at a resistance level that is just recently tapped. So that would be, for those of you that are familiar with my charting and the things that I do, that would be right about at a 50% move. So highly possible. That's over, you're saying, between now and October 22nd.
Now what's funny is I saw the number 7, but I'm dowsing 694.
All right. All right, so basically we're going to kind of pretty much be in a holding block until after the 22nd with that, because we're right in that range right now. So,
yeah.
Okay.
And I see somebody stomping their foot on the ground like, this is it. This is it. We're not going any lower. The dust is flying a little bit, but it's not going down.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. Locate the cryptocurrency known as Persistence. Ticker symbol XRPT. And describe and give the lowest price you see between now and October 22nd.
Okay. The current price?
Current price is... Current price is $7.81.
Okay, let's find out. Does this go up or down? Looks like it is going to go down. How low can you go? All right. Is it going to go down to $6? No. Just playing. All right. Are we going down to $7? No. 7. Okay, so between 7 and 781. Getting 768.
For the lower?
It doesn't want to go down to 7. I did 725. It was no. 730, 740, 750, 760. Getting some resistance. 61. 760. I'm getting a lot of resistance around 760. Like, it's just like,
Okay, so that's about 2 weeks of sideways action. We're right in that general range right now. It's $7.81, and so you're saying again, it's going down to what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you correctly.
It doesn't look like it's going any further than 760. It's swimming in the lower 60s.
Okay, all right. So it seems it would occur to me, or it would appear to me, guys, that my interpretation of her readings is we're looking at probably some sideways action for the next week and a half, broadly speaking across the markets. That's one of the options that I was probably prepared for, because just a lot of malaise before we see a blast off, just to kind of lull people into a sense of just nothing's happening, and all of a sudden it just happens. So we'll see a few outliers that jump up and down, stuff like that. But it's going to be an interesting week. We'll have Veronica on one more time with us here before blast off. That should be, maybe possibly two more times before blast off, so that should be rather interesting. All right, so we got a couple more to go here, and then we'll discuss some more off-topic stuff. So locate XYO, ticker symbol XYO. So we talked just before the show, and that's just falling flat on its face. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I don't know. Intellectually, I don't like this coin. I don't like it. It looks stupid. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, why is this piece of crap even on my paper with pencil markings on it? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one, though. This is what I'm like, it bothers me, because this is the one a couple weeks ago I got out of bed, and there before me in 1-foot golden letters was XYO. I'm like, well, now I have to at least buy $10 worth. I mean, dang it. And I didn't know what it meant at the time, like I said before. And then I talked to you on the show, and you're like, hey, XYO. And I'm like, oh, is that a crypto? Oh, I need to pay attention to that, because it was right next to me when I woke up. But I looked it up, and I'm not impressed. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest. There was a time I didn't like Dogecoin either. I don't like the idea of it. Still don't like it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And yet, it's made a lot of people a lot of money. So I'm like, maybe I'll just let go of my judgment and just, buy a couple dollars worth and just sit on it and see what happens. So that's kind of where my opinion is right now. But I hear kind of one of my guides going, lighten up a little bit and just be patient.
Well, I think this is going to be one that'll probably pan out, just not right away because of what it is and what it does. I showed everybody a call on this purple arrow here that's on screen. I told everybody that I think that it's going to go to here, and bang, we hit it just exactly. That's called a ping, perfect hit. So it's hit my predictions for recent drop when it really shouldn't have. I mean, looking at everything else, this thing's just had just a mighty slide into the pit. So now the question exists is, have we hit the bottom? So what say you? Current price right now is 0.024 price. Let's just,
0.024. Okay, visually, and most intuition works in symbols. So I'm seeing it kind of in this pit, and it's still sliding kind of on its back and butt, still sliding downward. It hasn't quite touched the bottom yet, but it's not far from the bottom. It's just got like a couple more feet to go before it can stand up and dust itself off and figure out how to get out of the pit. So it doesn't look like it has too far to go, but there's still something left. So let's see what that is. 0.024. Are we going to add a 0, yes or no? It doesn't look like we're adding a 0. So, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. It looks like it can't go lower than 17.
17? Mm-hmm. Oh, you amaze me, Veronica. Okay, so according to those of you guys that subscribe to my charts, know what I just showed on screen here. This is what's referred to as a dual AI lines, part of my automated intelligence system that I use. These are oftentimes referred to as magnetic, and that's exactly what she just called, is right on where I would probably forecast our next move to be. So you're looking at about 0.017, it possibly being the very next bottom on this thing. I would concur completely. I would be scooping this up with both hands at this price. That's a very, very large move downward for a coin that I think, this is not one I wouldn't go all in. I wouldn't spend your lunch money. I wouldn't, bet your kids' college fund or anything like that. But you're looking at, from about where it started to slide all the way down, you're looking at about a 45% drop. That's a good price. There's a lot of upward above that. And in the next 2 weeks or so. So this is a Coinbase coin, so you can go ahead and put an order in on Coinbase, just set it and forget it. And if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. No big deal. It's always fun to do the orders that you just try to get some of these calls and you try to grab them, and then they actually come to pass. So no harm, no foul if you miss it. But I'll tell you what, I'd put my money on it. In fact, I'm going to. So, all right. So there's that one. And Populous. Now this is one that it's just kind of a secret little project. Well, not really a secret, but just kind of a special little buck the trend call of mine. When it got delisted from Binance, everybody was really poo-pooing this thing, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. This is not about This is not about Populous. It's about the people who handle Populous. And I have been saying for a long, long time, we are in something that's called a sleeper formation. That's what the Z's are all about. It's just going flat, sideways. And what it is it's taken a tumble since Binance delisted it, and it's just not getting any love. But when it does, when someone comes and shows up and says, hey, we'll step into the void that Binance has created here, this thing's going to light up like a Roman candle. So,
can I ask you, what is Populous? What does it do?
That is basically, it's what's referred to as a factoring coin. So I'll give you kind of the nickel tour of this. So effectively what Populous does, it does other things, but I'll kind of give you what it's best known for. If you have a business, and I know this business very, very intimately. I have a friend named Rich that he trades, he buys and sells forklift contracts for industrial places. So say, for example, you've got a business that rents out forklifts, and you've got your monthly income coming in off those forklift contracts, or you've got promised income or something like that, but you need your money now. You can go to a company like Populous. Like currently there's brick and mortar places that you could sell your contracts in advance. In other words, it's almost kind of like a easy check cashing type place for businesses, more or less. And when people get into a cash flow crunch in a business, they need to do what's called factoring. They sell off their contracts for money now at a discount, and that's what Populous is. One of the things Populous does is it funds people who need money now.
Okay, this is making sense. So I mentioned that I was with the Psychic Friends group, my Psychic Friends network, also known as just my buddies. And Joan Lake did the reading. And this is one of the coins that we asked about. And she gave some really odd answers during the reading.
And they do have a DeFi exchange as well, too. I better get that in there. Other people will probably be trash talking me for not mentioning that. But effectively, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just want to get that in there.
Now, what she saw is she saw the coin, and she saw it with, like, guns and artillery and, like, people possibly fighting. And we were kind of looking at each other a little confused, like that's not something that usually pops up with cryptocurrency.
Right.
So I'm wondering what happens in the future. If you have countries that are in distress financially and can't afford to take payment or can't afford to pay for goods and services that are coming in, and they can't afford to take them off the cargo ships, or I don't know, does that work even vice versa? How is Populous used in that situation?
Well, without diverting the show too much, those ships that are sitting there off our shores right now are prime targets for this business because let me give you a good example and we'll get back on task here. So let's say, for example, we got Halloween coming up, so let's just talk in terms of that. This entire country works on what we call a just-in-time thing. So in other words, the guys put their what's called a blanket order in on their stuff with China. Like say, for example, you want your Batman masks and stuff like that to show up. You want them showing up on October 1st so that you're ready to get them on the shelves, get them in the stores and stuff like that. And if it shows up October 31st, you're kind of screwed. So the just-in-time system is how we pretty much function as a nation right now. Now, what's going to happen now is, let's say, for example, that you have a Halloween store or something like that. Your stuff is not going to get here. It's sitting out there on the deck, are out there on the ships and stuff, and so now you've got a cash flow problem because all of your stuff shows up. So first of all, you're going to have to sell all that stuff at a ridiculous loss because what's a Batman mask worth on October 31st? Not near as much as it is on October 29th. So here's the issue, is you're going to have cash flow problems, and so the cash flow comes from factoring in this stuff that they have from their receivables and from stuff like that. So these people that are making money upon the sales and the moving of product back and forth and contracts thereof, they're going to have to go to these companies like this. And I can tell you, somebody like Populous is going to know. I mean, they understand the businesses very well, so they're going to be buying these contracts at pennies on the dollar, and so that's kind of the nickel tour of the way that works. But effectively, Populous is going to be one of the very few options that's going to keep some of these businesses afloat. Many are not even going to be able to make it that long, but a lot of companies that need a cash solution are going to be turning to brick and mortar stores, and Populous is one of them in the crypto space that's going to be able to provide much needed liquidity to failing businesses or soon to fail businesses. So I don't know what the guns part of your vision is, but as far as like to keep companies afloat, that's what this is going to do, or promises to do.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if the guns are a show of force, if it's, I don't know what that is. So if somebody has any suggestions in the chat there, let me know what that represents. But it generally, for me, represents some kind of violence, like everyone's really upset and rising up in arms.
Well, now it could be that. I mean, just common sense. I mean, I would be pretty pissed if I had a business and I knew that, effectively what we're having a problem down there on the shores is because of the I don't want to say the V word, but the illness that's going on right now. And whatever, they can't get longshoremen to unload these ships, and then just a whole host of other reasons. I mean, there's going to be some store owners and some people that need that product that are really seriously up in arms. You also have to understand that it's not just Batman masks and stuff out there. There's also medical equipment. There's just the stuff that keeps America going that's out there on those, 80, 90 ships that's out there right now. There's going to be a lot of unhappy people that are out there that are going to be up in arms. So yes, it could very well be one of the things that kick off some serious civil unrest. So I wouldn't rule it out.
Interesting. Wow, you broke that down beautifully. Thank you.
as I'm prone to do. All right, so let's get back on task here. So Populous, let's see where we're at with Populous. So Populous currently right now is sitting at 77 cents. So where do you see that between now and the 22nd?
Okay, so Populous. Is it going to go up or down between now and October 22nd? Looks like it's going up. How high? Is it going to... Thanks. Hold on. I'm saying 86 cents.
Okay. I would concur with that. That's right at our first level of resistance. Just beautifully right at our first level of resistance. So you're looking at, now that's over the next 2 weeks, guys. That's a damn good start for 2 weeks. Damn good start. So you're looking at roughly approximately about a 13 to 14% boost in the next 14 days. I would agree with that quite handily. All right. So last one in the crypto thing. I want to throw. Veronica suggested that I throw this open to a couple of questions on some stuff. I saw one that came in. VeChain. We're going to do, and if anybody's got one more, I've got one question for her. We're going to do VeChain, and then we're going to do one more, and then we're going to move on to some other topics and let her get up out of here. So next one, last one on my list is locate Algorand. Ticker symbol Algo, ALGO. And
okay.
tell us what you see for Algorand. I have to get on the correct chart here. Current price $1.94. What do you see between now and October 22nd, 2021?
Okay, is this going to go up or down before? Okay, I see a lot of little stutter steps along the ground. It almost looks like grass. If you were trying to draw a straight line across grass, it would be like they're not all even. So it's sort of stumbling along, but let's see how high it's going to go. It looks like it is going to head upward, though. Not much more on the downside here. Just check here, higher or lower. It says higher. to make $2. It looks like it's going to make $2, so let's go from there. I'm getting 216. Doesn't that seem kind of high?
Boy, you're close to where I'm charting these things as you're talking here. No, not at all. I've got $2.11. You're darn close. Darn close.
Huh. Just, sometimes I look at these numbers and I'm like, really, it's going to go up that much? Or really, it's going to go down that much? Why?
Well, we're at $1.94 right now. That's not that much of a run.
Oh, okay.
That's not that much of a run. Okay. So, and that's to be expected. I mean, I expect big things out of this later, but that's well within the wheelhouse of historical movement over a 2 week period. All right. So let's talk about silver. So locate silver and tell us what we're going to be seeing between now and October 22nd for the spot price of silver. Now, I'm going to give you a price based upon what I have, and let me go back to my gold charts, gold level charts.
Can you tell me what the price is right now?
Okay, so I'm going to be giving you according to my chart, so it might be off a little bit. So current price right now is $22.45.
Silver going up or down over the next 2 weeks? It's going to go up. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing, not what I'm dowsing. I'm seeing some fat cats kind of sweating a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're trying to plan and figure out how to keep it down. It's making them a little nervous. The price going up is making them nervous. So, what does that look like? I'm hitting on like $27.
Really?
Yeah, like it's trying to creep up too fast, and I see a bunch of businessmen like sticking their hands in the bowl and like squishing it down like it's dough that's rising, and they're trying to squish it down and get the air out of it and get it down to an acceptable level.
Okay.
So the question is, will it actually make it up to 27? Doesn't look like they're going to make it up that far. How far are they going to hold it before? What are they going to hold it at before it gets there? They're going to hold it like at 25.60.
Really? Okay.
Because they see it going to 27 and they're freaking out.
Okay.
Freaking out. Very upset.
Basically, over the next 2 weeks, you're looking at about 25.60. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's. We had domain. I'm seeing JPM. I'm having a senior moment here. I don't know what JPM is. If somebody else has got one more crypto they want to throw in,
go for it. What you got?
Let me. Well, I want to see. We've already kind of got VeChain, so let's take a look at VeChain real quick. So locate VeChain and let me know. Same deal. Where do you see us at between now and the 22nd of October?
What's the
Current price is 11 cents, 0.112 to be exact.
VeChain, are you going up or down by October 22nd? It says it wants to go up. It's a pretty heavy swing on this. It feels like it's really solid, like it really wants to go up. I haven't felt this much pull on any of the other numbers that we've done.
The velocities, I've already got the velocity on my chart, but they're swinging it the opposite direction by what you're telling me. So I'm not going to be surprised by what you're about to tell me.
Okay, so 11 cents. Let's see how high we go. I'm hitting 23. Is that possible?
Let's move this little velocity thing here and see how close I can.
That can't be right.
23? Well.
That seems like a lot. You go 11, 12, 13. No, I keep getting 23. That's weird.
23 cents, guys. You know, I don't rule it out. So let's go back here a little bit in the history. It's going to be a while before we get to 23, but you know, that would be, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I think that might very well be a all-time high for that. But VeChain's going to have its moment. Seems a little soon, but you know.
It does. It really does. It's almost like I see a burp or a hiccup or some kind of indigestion, like a bubble in the chest, and it's got to come out.
Okay. Kind of like being a beach ball pushed underwater, huh? All right, so we got one last one here that is a request, and that's Reef. So locate Reef, R-E-E-F.
Okay.
And ticker symbol on that is just Reef. That is at 0.021 currently.
Okay.
Where do you see that between now and October 22nd?
Okay. Is that going to go up or is that going to go down first? What are we doing? I see a small hiccup down. It's not very deep. How low is it going to go in the next 2 weeks? So 21, 19, 18, 17, 16. Looks like it's going to hit 16 or 17. Zero, whatever that. So it's 021. So back it down to 016. Is that what I said?
Thereabouts.
Yeah. 16, 17. It got a little funky right between those two numbers.
Okay. Well, I had an expectation call from about a couple weeks ago that we never hit, so it's entirely possible to go there. What do you see as being the high for that?
Okay.
Just on the turnaround.
So what's the timeline for a high?
Between now and the well, let's go ahead and still see. I'm going to infer that if we're heading up or we're hitting a high, that we're on our way up higher still. But between now and October 22nd, what do you see the high being?
Is it going to go higher? 21. Looks like it's going to hit up to 24.
Up to 24. Up to 0.024.
Yep.
0.024. All right. Well, you're looking at roughly right about there. Okay. All right. Very good. So, a couple things just on a world event here. So that's going to do it for the crypto part of this. So, a couple things here. How are we doing on time?
I think we're doing good.
Okay.
We've got got a little less than 20 minutes.
Okay. So let's talk about a few things here. So, what do you see for Australia? My heart is definitely out. We have a lot of subscribers who are based in Australia. My heart is going really out to the folks leading on the edge of chaos in Australia. What do you see going on in the events in Australia over the next 30 days?
Okay, so I'm seeing the people, and these look like government officials, and they're fighting with each other, but now they're bringing out like pipes and hammers, and they're really wailing on each other. It's a full-on, almost physical fight. So I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of chaos in the upper levels of government. It just looks like they got into a full-on brawl here, or they're trying to. Interesting that they're hitting each other with pipes, metal pipes. Not sure what that
Metaphorically,
means.
I assume you mean.
Yeah, I just don't know. Metal pipes, does that also have something to do with some kind of industry? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that just them fighting? Who knows? So there's that. Looks like there's still they're not getting along too well with China. I see them kind of flipping China off.
Mm-hmm.
And China's all like, how dare you disrespect us? We're awesome. And the Australian just sort of flipped them off and turned their boats off to the left and keep going.
Since you mentioned that dovetails nicely into the next couple of questions. Can you locate the country of Taiwan and tell me what their relationship will be with China over the next 30 days?
They keep bowing. let me see what else they're doing. Like they kind of feel like they have to be a little bit subservient to Big Brother.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hearing them go, this is a bunch of BS. And they're checking their pockets, and they're like, our pockets aren't filling up like they're supposed to. Why are we friends with you? Like, they're going back on their word or something, and Taiwan is not profiting from, like, the way they were supposed to.
I see.
Yeah,
Do you see a break from China as a result of that?
What does that look like? It doesn't look like a break. I don't think that they're capable of breaking. It looks more like they're in a group of friends where China's kind of the big, brash, big buddy, and this one's kind of a smaller, still elegant looking figure sitting down from the table from them, still drinking with the group, looking at their watch like, how long do I have to stay here before I can go and not look too bad? That kind of relationship.
Going back one topic here, because we have a chat delay, I ask a question, it takes like almost a minute to get an answer. One of our viewers, Lauren, mentions, you're familiar with who Cliff High is, I assume?
Yeah.
You're not? Okay. You got to get out more. So anyway, Cliff is very good at predictions. He comes by way of a technical standpoint. But his data that he's been gathering for what's been going on in Australia, and I am aware of this, mentions the word massacre with regard to Australia. Does that have any tie into what you're saying with the pipes and the fighting?
Let's see if there's any blood on the pipes. I see there is some physical. There's a woman like right in the middle of the fracas wearing a very bright suit. She gets smacked over the head. See a little blood on her forehead.
My question would be with this is, do you see this being contained within the halls of government, or could this be a situation where the masses have gained entry into the inner sanctum and they've just had enough?
What I'm seeing for the immediate future is fighting amongst themselves, and it's getting out of control amongst themselves, and from there it's like the children are watching TV, and then the children start imitating the behavior.
I see. Okay.
But as for masses rising up, this looks like more smaller groups that are irritated, individuals that are irritated, everyone as a group who kind of has the same group mind. They're all annoyed and irritated, but it doesn't look like they're organized yet, or that they've put anything together yet. They're all still kind of sitting in their individual homes, irritated. And I see some guys on a ranch, but they're far from everyone, and they are really upset. Who else? What else? And looking around at the people on the streets, mumbling to each other, kind of side-eyeing each other like, oh, it's about to jump off. We're all going to get in on the fracas. But they're kind of, it looks like the populace at large is kind of irritated but dancing around actual action themselves. I will say this, in my last economic reading that I did for this year, I did see basically some riots in the street and some upheaval. It seemed to be around more financial stuff, but if somebody's threatening your job, that is, and that got actually physical among the groups of people. So I wouldn't put it past them, but right now it just seems like there's unrest, and most of the physicality is in with the government itself. And then let's see what happens. Let's go forward a little bit, wind it forward. Yeah, and then it's going to spill out into the streets. It doesn't look like a massacre. At least I hope not. Oh. I do see someone angry, kind of sitting in their little workshop area. And they've got what looks like some weapons. But this is more of an individual, not a group. So I'm hoping that he doesn't go down that road and that he kind of curbs his demeanor and his anger, because he's kind of mumbling to himself, and there's a lot of really dark shadows in front of his forehead, like dark thoughts.
Do you see a further lockdown in the next 30 days for the people of Australia?
I see them using the unrest as an excuse for further lockdown.
In the next 30 days?
Yeah.
Do you see that being the case? Excuse me, I hit my mic there. Do you see that being the case for us here in America? Are we looking at a lockdown in the next 30 days?
I hear the words "good luck."
Probably from me. Good luck.
Good luck. I see the states as being too individual. They're not going to cooperate as a whole. There's no need for us to lock down with the numbers that we have. Somebody is going to come out with some math, not the new math, but math that makes sense. And they're going to show statistics and go, it's more dangerous to be a roofer or an electrician working on the poles than it is to, worry about COVID. And people are going to start looking at the numbers and the statistics coming out and go, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why would we lock down? No, It makes no sense whatsoever.
Good. Well, enjoy your freedom for a little while longer, right, guys?
Yeah, very individual in these states here. Like, I see the fences up around the borders of each state, and everyone's going to kind of have their own rules. And then the federal government's going to come out and go, you can do this, you're supposed to do this. And some of them are going to flip them off and go, yeah, we're not doing that. And then
sorry, go ahead.
Then the government looks like it wants to come back. Oh, looks like they're really upset. And they start waving papers in front of them like, we're not going to give you your funding. What about this? What about this? And for some of the states, they just kind of shrug their shoulders and like, yeah, we'll be fine.
How do you view this being the start of succession? We both know where the end game is for this, the breakup of the states and America in general and stuff like that. Do you view this to be the very, very, very start of succession? Because interestingly, this morning when I got up, I saw several articles talking about how a lot of people are beginning to float the idea of succession, and a lot of people are very open to it, state by state.
I'll tell you something, it's irrelevant. And I'll tell you why, because if people even try to move forward with succession, of course there's going to be resistance and problems, and most states cannot make it on their own as their own country. That's just not how we're set up. It's not realistic. But let me tell you what the other piece of it is when the earth changes come and they start happening, people are not supposed to separate from each other. They're supposed to band together. And some of these states that are talking about secession, half of them might be underwater. So they're not going to exist the way they used to.
Correct. Now, Edgar Casey does see a time when we're broke up physically in the country. Water inroads coming in, and the country, the general geography of the country is not. But you don't see a breakup coming right away.
It won't come from that direction. If there's a breakup, it'll be because of lack of communication. It'll have nothing to do with the virus. It won't have anything to do with that. It'll have to do, or with the way things are politically, it'll have to do with the breakup of the land. And there won't be communication. There won't be power. There won't be organization to keep everything together the way it was. If you're missing half of a state, well, we want to secede. All 50 miles is left of us.
Right. Well, I'm looking forward to having beachfront property. So I'm looking forward to having beachfront property here in the Midwest. So it's not all bad for me. But that's kind of a joke, but not really funny. But so one back to the China topic. Locate Evergrande, the company Evergrande, and give us some insight on how their default or bailout will affect cryptocurrency.
I don't see there being a bailout. I see China turning their shoulder and walking away.
Okay, I agree with that. As I've said many, many times, I'm of the mind that this may not necessarily have been planned to be a military thing for them, but the military flavor of this, or the advantage to China by letting everybody else take a financial hit, definitely not a bad thing for China. I see them covering the people inside their borders, but not outside. Would you agree with that?
I don't even know if they're going to cover the people inside their borders. I see them kind of reaching out to Evergrande with their palm up and wiggling their fingers, and it's kind of a pervy sort of way, like, hey, baby, and then kind of a tickling motion.
Right.
And then they're like, just kidding, and then they turn and walk away.
Psych. Nice. So the how do you see this affecting cryptocurrency? Positively? Because the ripple effect, I'll fill this in while you're thinking this through. The ripple effect of a default will just cause waves all around the world. Everybody with their 401ks, their stocks, their bonds, all that stuff, all of the defaulted stuff. Evergrande has their hands in money, with BlackRock and whatever. This isn't going to be like waking up on 9/11 and watching something happen in New York and you live in California, thinking, how could this ever possibly affect me? This will immediately affect everybody around the world. But my question is how it positively or negatively affects cryptocurrency with regard to...
It looks like this crypto season, at least for this October, is somewhat insulated. It looks like even to January, we're doing okay, and then after that, it gets a little dark.
Okay. Dark in what respect? Just hard to see?
I can't see. It's just dark.
Okay.
Yeah, like the lights go out like somebody forgot to pay the electric bill.
All right. I'm reading through the chats here on this, so I'll make sure I go through all my notes here. So one question, and we've talked about this before the show, but do your best on this. Big question with a lot of people. We're going to try to cover 3 zones. And we'll have to discuss this once you've had a chance to really sit down and mull this over. But give me your initial thoughts on where a lot of folks in our group are discussing relocating, and I brought that up with you before the show. In North America, specifically in America and in Canada, a lot of folks are considering relocating from where they are to other parts. Can you describe an area that would be considered a safe area for them to consider relocating to?
Okay, so first of all, let's back up a little bit. Don't move near a volcano. That sounds obvious, but there are extinct volcanoes that will not remain extinct. There are sleeping volcanoes that are going to wake up. And you need to make sure as you look around where you land that there are no volcanoes near you, because people are going to be looking at the land around them and the water flooding and all of this stuff going on around the world, and they'll forget to look in their backyard at the volcano as it blows. They'll forget all about it.
Mm-hmm. And by volcanoes, folks, she's not talking about like on the side. She's talking about anywhere near, period.
That's right.
Like half a state away or better.
Yeah, be very careful, because there's a lot of places. I'm moving to Canada. I'm moving up north. There's a lot of extinct volcanoes, so do a little Google search. Map of volcanoes, map of extinct volcanoes, North America.
Do you see, I believe we discussed this with regard to this, do you see any activity coming with Yellowstone?
Oh, there's a lot of activity coming, but let's narrow that down. Hold on a second. Let's look at the dates, the time. Hold on. Okay, I'm getting stuck right around March. Not saying that that's what's going to happen, but let's take a look.
March of 2022?
Yeah. So October, no. November. No, not March. Okay, hold on. I need to kind of figure out what level of activity we're looking for, because it's always moving and it's always grooving and doing weird stuff. Let me ask about is it predestined to blow at a certain time? No. Can we narrow it down to a window of 3 months? Yes. Okay. So let's go this year, no. Next year, still getting a no, but I got a lot of resistance there, so it's going to act up next year. Huh. It looks like it wants to wait till at least 2024.
Okay.
Which is good.
Okay. Specific to that question, do you see loss of life in 2024?
For Yellowstone?
Mm-hmm.
So let's not go by the date. Let's go by when it blows, because it has its own timeline, and there are other beings that are working on, and other humans that are always adjusting the energy in the area to try to release pressure and move the frequencies around so to save humanity and save loss of life. But let's say when it does go, when it finally goes and blows out the side, because it's not going to blow straight up. Yeah, and it looks like most of the loss of life has to do with the gas that's released.
Okay.
Some fire, some ash. Oh, there's going to be a lot of ash. Ooh, such a mess. But we know this. I mean, we can just look at what's erupting now and then go, what if I live downstream from that by one state? It's going to make a mess around the planet. It's going to make a huge mess.
Correct.
Especially in the breadbasket, and across the middle of the U.S., and wherever the wind takes it, of course. Some folks are like, wait a minute, I thought we were far enough away from Yellowstone, it shouldn't affect us like this, and they're going to take a look at the wind streams and go, oh, yeah, there it is. So, yeah.
Okay.
It's, I'll let you know in a little secret here. There's a way to do acupuncture on the earth with large telephone poles and putting those poles in certain spots and digging deep to let the pressure off the earth, like acupuncture. And there's people in Japan who know how to do this, and if they were to do this, they could save most of Japan when the world starts breaking up. They actually still know how to do this there.
Is there a term for that?
I don't know that there's a term for that. I just call it, big acupuncture. Like geo-acupuncture or something like that. I'm sure there's a phrase for it. But we could do the same with Yellowstone and let out those pressure points and reduce. You're not going to get rid of the explosion. It's going to come. It's something that's predestined, but you might be able to reduce it significantly if we were to do that. But, got to have the people with the skills, the know-how, and the actual, I'm going to get up and do this.
Right. Okay. So. I'm reading through the chats here to see if I missed anything. So, all right. Well, I think that's pretty much covered it for tonight, guys. I sort of put you on the spot here. You and I, we talk an awful lot about other things, just not just crypto. And this is October, so this is very par for the course. So, how much longer we got here? I want to give these guys
a couple minutes.
Give these guys a taste of a little. Let's get weird here for a couple minutes. So, since it's October, your last little bombshell you dropped on me, we talked about shapeshifters. You want to end the show talking about that?
Yeah, you're funny. Yeah, that's a fun one. Okay, so just for everyone's information, there are such things as shapeshifters. These are what are known as remnants. They are the leftovers from Atlantis. They are the leftovers from the continent of that sank in the Pacific. Atlantis is in the Atlantic area. And so when this catastrophes happened, these different tribes of people, because they're humans too, they're just a different kind of human, left the areas. Everyone went off into their own places. A lot of people died, billions died when the earth changed at that time. And they sort of hid out from there, but they still exist. There's small families that exist around the world, actually. And they're not necessarily related to each other, but they are shapeshifters. So that's where the legend of werewolves comes from. There
you go. And also probably a good tie-in to the Native Americans have a long, long oral tradition of shapeshifters.
They do.
As well.
And they have their own folks. I actually did a reading on one a while ago, and I saw one of the grandmothers, and she's very old. She's about 700 years old. They do tend to live a very long time. So I'm not sure how well they're going to do in this world where everything is so well documented, but they do tend to live in rural areas. And the way she's mal-shifted, I would say, is her human leg doesn't look human. It looks like the back leg of a predator, like a wolf or a coyote. her left leg. And they have her hidden out in the mountains, and the family brings her food and takes care of her, but they're like, we cannot have her in town here. She's very old. She looks funny and a little different. She doesn't look quite human. She doesn't blend in well. She doesn't play well with others. Some of their kind tend to be a little bit fierce, and they'll just chase you like a dog that's trying to bite tires, and they're very vicious. Then you get the ones in South America, Argentina, Brazil. Ones in Argentina tend to be more people shy. They shy away from you. Everyone kind of knows they exist, and we just sort of pretend like, we don't see them. But they don't look like regular humans. They look a little odd with strong features.
Interesting.
So,
do you view any of them actually are within that integrate with us? That the reason I'm leading up to this question is a domain I'm searching right now through my private discussion with one of my mods. He sent me a video of a gentleman. Some of you guys have probably seen this in our Discord. I don't post this domain. Post this in the chat if you can, because I'm looking through our private conversation. If you can find this, post this for everybody to go back. Logical Domain is who I'm asking. Post this thing about the guy with the neck. There was somebody that was on CNN and his neck was just doing some rather bizarre things while he was on camera. And I have a history of I own a video production company. I own a network, and I looked at this and I'm thinking, is this like a what's called a video artifact? And it was not. This guy had something very strange happening with his neck. It was almost like it was just morphing on camera. So I was wondering what was up with that. I was going to actually bring that to your attention and show you that. Say, what's up with this one? But
he might be one of them. He might be a distantly related. I saw online a family, and they were just calling them the ugly family, and they were like, look how strange it is that their face changes shapes. And I'm like, they're remnants. They just forgot who they were.
With regard to that, there are a lot of instances where the powers that be have lizard eyes, and people are always trying to find stuff like that. Lizard people, what's your comments on that? Reptilian.
Not a fan.
What's that?
I'm not a fan. They just tend to be very difficult people, and there are some that try to live in the light, but it's like, I'm going to live in the light, and it's like having muddy shoes walking on carpet. Don't worry, my shoes are clean. They're not going to get anything dirty. And then they stomp through your house full of mud, and you're like, yeah, but you got muddy boots on. Mm-hmm. You're a lizard person. It makes it very hard for you to be in the light because of the essence of who you are.
Right.
I've seen serpent people and the snake people, and then their eyes blink the opposite of ours, and that's really creepy. I know someone who's married to a lizard. A snake.
I was for 20 years. I got out of that. So no.
No, I'm talking where you can see the eyes change, and I'm like, really, that relationship works for you? And they're like, hey, they're cool with me, and I'm like, okay. Then you have praying mantis type people. I run into aliens when I went to Mount Shasta. That was interesting because I couldn't figure out what they were, and I'm like, they're not human. And my psychic friends group was there, and I said, hey, guys, what are they? And I'm like, are they elves? What? I've never seen that before. And my one friend whispered, she's like, they're aliens. I said, oh. That makes so much sense to me.
I don't think you were part of this, but I don't think I had discussed this with you. But I was talking with one of our moderators about they would be referred to as mantids. They're the ones that look like praying mantises. They tend to be, from what my understanding and my group's understanding is, they tend to be rather nurturing. Is that your take on it?
They're very nice. They're very nice, and they're very nervous. There's a family here. There's a family here in LA. And sometimes you just kind of see them, and their children tend to need special assistance or classroom assistance, like special needs, just because they're very nervous, overly sensitive individuals, and so they need a little bit of extra help. And it's like if you see the child who's overwhelmed, or they would call them on the spectrum, and they get nervous and they hide under the table, and then children are kind to them and, come on, I'll take care of you, it's okay, you can sit next to me. That kind of thing is what they need.
Let's see, what is their function here, as you understand it?
They're like immigrants, really. They have their own jobs here. They have their job that they do as humans, and they raise their families, which is kind of brave to raise a child on this planet. I mean, dang. Talk about a rough neighborhood. Lock your doors, roll up the windows, kids.
So one more, and I'll let you go, because I have hinted to a few people in our Discord about this one. I'm just going to throw this out there, let you put your spin on this. So we talked a little bit about Bigfoot. So Bigfoot is what? Tell us, where does Bigfoot come from? What is Bigfoot all about?
Bigfoot is a remnant from before the breakup of the planet. One was 10, 11,000 years ago. The other one was 22,000 years ago. They're remnants from those eras. They were basically designed by us at that time and in a laboratory. We were advanced enough to do that. We were more advanced then than we are now in many aspects, not in the aspect of chemistry. They didn't really mess with chemistry or biochemistry, but they did mess with frequency, physics,
genetics,
that kind of thing.
Genetics.
Say again?
Genetics.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they were a mess. So, so Bigfoot and there's like 6 or 7 species of the different types of Bigfoot, different sizes, but they were basically slaves, and they were animalistic. They live a very long time, 300, 400, 500 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're all remnants live a long time, certainly past the age of humans.
And their goal was basically an upright pack animal, lift, carry.
Yes. And we kind of failed them, and then we hunted them down, and we treat them like crap, and they don't like us very much, and they avoid us at all costs. They certainly don't want to be enslaved again. I don't blame them, really.
Right.
Humans are jerks to work for, and it's not, it's not a good employer-employee relationship. So that's where they come from. They mostly live underground in caves. You'll never find one intact because they tend to dismember the members of their tribe.
And bury them separately.
Correct.
They don't leave ashes or remnants behind. They hide them. So.
Nope. They're very, very intelligent. The souls that occupy those bodies tend to be a little upset. Their souls aren't humans that are reincarnated. Their souls come from other planets that were in distress, and the frequency of that body matches their distress, and so that's who usually ends up in that kind of a body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's just a little taste of the weird, because we got to throw that in there because it's October. Thought that'd be kind of a fun little addition to this show. So thank you very much, Veronica Jayne, for all your time and your predictions and all the fun you bring us here on Thursdays. We look forward to you next Thursday to see how this pans out. Until next Thursday, my name is Red Baron from FibbyCharts.com. Love to have you join us over at our free chat, which is the Unfair Advantage .chat. We'd love to have you over there and join us. You can find that description in the description, or find that link in the description below in the video there. So you just hot link it right on over. Come on in, no charge to do that. And of course, if you'd like to use the charts that I'm using here on screen, which is the AI powered charts that give you my spin on what's going on, not just Veronica's, you can do that by subscribing to FibbyCharts.com. So until next Thursday here for this show, and I'll be back on myself with the regularly scheduled program next time. I will see you until then. So until then, be safe, be good, and be good at it. Peace and hair grace, baby.